This program only reflects the personal views of the program hosts and/or the individual contributors.
Good evening, this is Newsline. I am Michael Chagani. Tonight, do we really need tough new law to protect national security in Hong Kong? With me are Peter Wong, a member of China's National People's Congress, and James To, a Hong Kong legislator. Thank you both for being on the show. Now, this is an issue, national security law, better known in Hong Kong as Article 23, one of the articles of the Basic Law. The whole issue has been revived again recently by Rita Fan. I'm trying to get into that. Peter, maybe I'll come to you first, because you're a member of China's National People's Congress, which is like China's legislature, and James To, you're a member of the Hong Kong legislature. So I'll come to you, Peter Wong. Now, I know you have said before that you think we do need a law, a national security law in Hong Kong to protect China's national interest. Why do you think we need such a law?
Well, number one, I think that it is under the Basic Law. It is a constitutional commitment. I mean, the SAR have got to
sooner
make
or
the
later.
legislation.
Sooner or later.
Yeah. And there's no time frame in the Basic Law. But I think that coming to the question of national security, it is not just a question of the security of Hong Kong SAR. It is the country, one country.
That's it. You're talking about national security, the whole of China, right?
If we still remember some years back when Jiang Zemin says that, he would not give up the possibility of repossess Taiwan by military means. Mm-hmm. The first thing Chen Shui-bian said was that we'll hit out at Hong Kong. So I think that we should always be in Hong Kong, be aware of our own security situations, not just from the Hong Kong perspective. We should do it in the national perspective.
But okay, let me go to James. So James, what Peter Wong here is a member of China's Parliament, the National People's Congress, and he's saying that, of course, when Article 23 national security law is implemented in Hong Kong, is not meant just to protect Hong Kong, but the whole of China, as Peter Wong points out, and he says that we need to make sure that the national interest is protected through such a law. I know that you disagree with having such a law at this time, and you fear it. Why do you fear such a law?
Well, you look back at the history of enacting the Basic Law. You know why we have Article 23, which said Hong Kong shall enact the national security law on our own timing, okay, and the own content that we thought is appropriate for protection of national security. At that time, during the drafting, there was a very strong common consensus that the law should be enacted in Hong Kong and not using the so-called national law to be directly implemented into Hong Kong. I think even if you implement the law in Hong Kong, it is meant to protect the whole country, not Hong Kong. I know. So what I want to bring out is that is a kind of you would say, compromise, or would assure the Hong Kong people and the international community that we are not using the national law in its own form to put into enforce into Hong Kong to protect national security, because it is a different legal system. So that's why, in terms of content, in terms of timing, that the Hong Kong SAR government should consider the appropriate content, appropriate timing to enact it.
It's not the right timing now?
No.
Why not?
Why? Well, I would say we haven't built up a good consensus on the among the
it's been
all the
13, 40 years after the hand.
Well, the strongest argument is using the Macau as an example, but Hong Kong is not Macau. You know, in Macau, I think maybe their citizens,
they already passed such a law.
Well, they have maybe have a strong consensus. I don't know. But in Hong Kong, I think, look back, we have a 203 mass demonstration against this law.
That's right.
That drafting at that point of time. So we need some good timing in order to have that kind of law and timing.
Peter Wong, The timing is wrong. Now, James pointed out something that we all know. In 2003, 500,000 people went out into the streets, strongly opposed to this law. The law, as it was first created, thought about, is not yet passed, but it's a requirement in the basic law, was that Hong Kong could be used as a base, perhaps, to subvert China, to threaten China. But that, surely nobody believes Hong Kong is going to be used as a base to hurt China anymore, do they?
No. I think maybe let me put that in a different perspective. I concur with Michael and James' perceptions of when we enact that law, it has to be at a
Proper
appropriate timing. Last year, in 2010, during the National People's Congress meeting, I also bring this issue up. But my point has always been, we cannot brush the law aside. At least we have got to debate it to find out what the contents, what are the dissatisfactions.
We had a thorough debate in 2003.
Okay, in 2003, that is something
People
I think
rejected it
overwhelmingly.
overwhelmingly.
Well, in 2003, you two gentlemen has been saying that the 500,000 people because of 2003. That was not it. Sorry, because that was at 2003. The Article 23 is one of the issues, but not the only issue.
No, there were other issues like SARS and economic
That's
crisis.
right. Yeah, I think that was the economic crisis.
But it was the trigger.
Yeah,
but
to answer your question, Michael, the thing is that can Hong Kong be used as a subversive space to China? My answer to you is that if any one of us who has been aware of the history, Hong Kong has always been a place, to provide new ideas, inputs, to change the political scene in China in the past 200 years.
Is that necessarily a bad thing, Mr.
No, not necessarily a bad thing. That's why I said I'm not against. We are not talking of the timing. There's no disagreement on the timing.
Ideas is not subversion. Ideas for political change is not violent.
Well, it could also be subversion. The thing is that...
How can ideas be subversive?
No, it's not just the people within Hong Kong. There are other national interests from other nations.
You think there are people in Hong Kong, you think there are people in Hong Kong who harbor an intention to hurt China?
I think there are such people too. Are you saying that there are? Look,
can you identify them?
No, I can. I think for identification purposes, it's not the purpose of the discussion here. But you are saying that would there be a possibility? Yes. Look at history. The CIA's, MI5, MI6. Now, when you come
CIA, MI5.
No, it is not fiction.
Yes, there's of course a CIA and MI5. Okay, everywhere. Okay, but if you talk about so-called idea subversion, okay, ideology subversion, of course you must have a very harsh Article 23 law in order to punish
people
ideology subversion. That will be the exact focus that the mass demonstration in 2003 against.
If, say, for example, you look at the law from China's perspective, you have one school of thought. If you look at it from American perspective, from the British perspective, that is a different matter. Now, some people in Hong Kong, they may not aware of which position they stand. There is no black and white in politics. It's really dependent on where you stand.
I think you said just a few days ago, you said publicly that there are people who have said things recently that you consider subversive.
What? Say what?
He has said that.
No.
Well, to identify person, but the content.
You refer to one of the probably discussions I had on another channel.
Yeah, right.
But what I say is that there are peoples in Hong Kong who would look upon China as their enemies. I did mention something like that, but specifically it is not a law court here, and if without a true proof of that, I wouldn't say this in the public. Well, but the thing is that look at history. We cannot ignore what happened in history and what is in the international scene.
No, but I say, take an extreme case. If a guy in Hong Kong, in a free society, say, okay, let's put China as our enemy. Okay, let's punish them. What, do you want a harsh, very harsh Article 23 law to punish that free speech? You know, I think if that is what exactly you want, then the Article 23 legislation will be very harsh and will be restricting.
No, I respect
on the freedom of speech.
No, James.
So
I
don't
have
know.
the same sentiment with you on freedom of speech. But when it comes to the
So you want to
rule
punish the act of, say, buying ammunition or staging a so-called military uprising.
You're a member of your
Well, that is already punishable in existing crimes ordinance.
But you're a member of the Legislative Council Security Panel.
Yes.
So surely you have an interest to make sure that Hong Kong is secure.
Yes, it's secure, but not as what Peter said should punish against.
No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Please don't put words in my mouth.
No, but you say
no,
Hong Kong is a subversive place.
Can I clarify?
Ideology. Okay,
Can I clarify?
You can clarify.
I'm saying that it is not. We have to start discuss the differences on Article 23. I have not set a time requirement, but I said that it is not right just to shelve the whole thing. That has always been along the line. This is
when do you think we should have it passed?
As long as I think we have had our differences put on the table, and then we narrow down the differences, we have some sort of a consensus, then that is the time to pass the law.
But if you narrow the differences between the people who want it and people who don't want it, you're going to end up with a law that will not deal with this idea subversion that you've just
No, not necessarily, Michael. The thing is that if, like I said, that the truth of the matter is, the more we talk about it in details, the more it will be clearer, instead of just taking one position. I think that is the crux of the matter on Article 23. All along the line, even up to this moment, I realize that there are difference of opinions in Hong Kong, and it is not right not to allow people to express themselves.
Okay.
But let us have a dialogue.
Okay, well,
that is what my point.
We'll pick it up after the break. Don't go away. See you soon.